Every Sunday night during session, I say goodbye to my wife and kids and make the 3-hour trek to St. Paul to fight for our way of life, because day after day, it is under attack from Metro liberals.
A Minnesota state senator just arrested, accused of soliciting a minor for prostitution.
This is easily one of the wildest stories I've seen in a while.
Only KARE 11 was there Tuesday when State Senator Justin Eichhorn was transported from the Bloomington to Hennepin County Jail, arrested yesterday for allegedly soliciting a minor for prostitution.
This article is titled "Republican Behind, quote, Trump Derangement Syndrome Bill Arrested on Charges of Soliciting a Minor." Sorry, it's not funny, but just the irony here. Minnesota State Senator Justin Eichhorn was arrested on charges of trying to meet up with an officer who posed as a 17-year-old girl, and this was not long after he introduced a bill to his state legislature to classify people who are, I guess, liberal as having Trump derangement syndrome. They wanted to turn it into a serious mental disorder, which on one hand is kind of scary, but on one hand is kind of funny. Let's start off with the reality of it, the scary part of it. They can classify anybody who disagrees with them politically as mentally ill, and if you want to take it to its extremes, either you lock people up, you stop people from being able to own firearms based on their political leanings because you think they have TDS. And by the way, Trump derangement syndrome is this meme that Trump always throws out saying that if you criticize him too much, you must have Trump derangement syndrome. It's actually just a way to deflect from any criticism. And the thing is, the funny part of it is, why I think it's funny is that if Trump derangement syndrome were a mental disorder, I actually think I would have it. I'm not going to lie, I would totally have it. I mean, if you want to go down the list of all of the things that make me deranged when I think of Trump, from his undermining of democracy, his erosion of every single norm, his hatred of our Constitution, he alienates our allies, he's openly aligned with Russia, and he admires these authoritarian leaders, yeah, it makes my skin crawl, and it kind of pisses me off to see the President of the United States openly championing things that are anti-American, and he does make me a little bit deranged. But if we just back up for a second, if we want to put it into perspective, this guy spent, the last little bit of free time that he had for a while trying to push a bill that mocked mental health patients, number one, targeted Trump critics, number two, and just tried to muddy the waters and say that anybody who criticizes Trump for trying to invade Canada or using tariffs as a weapon, an economic weapon to try to get Canada to integrate into the United States, anybody who criticizes that has Trump derangement syndrome. I hate when these people deflect and say that, oh, you're the ones that are crazy. You guys are the ones losing your minds, when none of this is normal at all. But this guy was doing all of this before he went to jail, and behind closed doors, he was engaging in behavior so vile that even his party wants him gone, that he has to get arrested. So, if anybody in this situation has a mental disorder, it seems to be Eichhorn. The article continues, Eichhorn, 40, of Grand Rapids, traveled to Bloomington for the meeting and was arrested without incident, according to police. Quote, as a 40-year-old man, if you come to the orange jumpsuit district looking to have sex with someone's child, you can expect that we are going to lock you up, Bloomington Police Chief Booker Hodges said in a news release. Based police chief, that is a nice statement right there. Charges against Eichhorn are pending with the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, according to Bloomington Police. Eichhorn's Senate office did not immediately respond to MSNBC's request for comment on the pending charges against him. A number of state lawmakers, including his fellow Republicans, are now calling on Eichhorn to resign. Yeah, I'd hope so. Quote, we are shocked by these reports, and this alleged conduct demands an immediate resignation, said Minnesota Senate Republicans in a statement. Quote, Justin has a difficult road ahead, and he needs to focus on his family and maybe not being a pedophile predator. Is Justin going to start saying these people have Trump derangement syndrome too? The Republicans who are just saying, hey, you got to get out of here? Eichhorn, whose Senate biography notes that he's married with 4 kids, made headlines Monday, right before his arrest, hours before his arrest, this says, for a provocative bill he co-sponsored with 3 fellow Republican senators. The legislation would classify, quote, Trump derangement syndrome as a mental illness in the state statute, ostensibly meant as a dig at Donald Trump's critics. Quote, Trump derangement syndrome means the acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal persons that is in reaction to the policies and presidencies of President Donald J. Trump. Symptoms may include Trump-induced general hysteria, which produces an inability to distinguish between legitimate policy differences and signs of psychic pathology in Donald Trump's behavior. Listen to this. Listen to them being smug about Donald Trump's erratic behavior, and watch the dude who's being smug. Let me show you this.
Every Sunday night during session, I say goodbye to my wife and kids and make the 3-hour trek to St. Paul to fight for our way of life, because day after day, it is under attack from Metro liberals.
A Minnesota state senator just arrested, accused of soliciting a minor for prostitution. 40-year-old Senator Justin Eichorn is a Republican representing Grand Rapids. Bloomington police say that detectives posed as a 16-year-old girl and arranged to meet with him in Bloomington. Well, he was arrested after arriving in the area of the meeting spot.
Oh my Lord, the smugness dripping off not only this Trump derangement syndrome bill that they introduced, but the smugness dripping off his ad saying, oh, Metro liberals are ruining our way of life. It's so satisfying. Well, I'm not going to use the word satisfying because he was trying to meet up with a minor, but it's satisfying to see this guy go down, get a taste of his own medicine. Now, Trump derangement syndrome, let's dig into this because it basically says if you're not able to distinguish legitimate policies from psychic pathology to Donald Trump's behavior, it's like, what legitimate policies are you talking about? Let's run through them really quickly. Are you talking about the obsession with tariffing Canada, Mexico, and all of our allies? Are you talking about the obsession with aligning with Russia on the Ukraine-Russia war and for some reason always putting Zelensky down? Is it the erratic economic policy that Trump has introduced that has tanked the stock market and made the GDP basically contract during Q1? I mean, what policy, what legitimate policy are you talking about with Trump? He's passed nothing through Congress, or rather he hasn't gotten Congress to get together to pass anything because it's on Congress, but the president has to get both sides to work together. Keep in mind, by this time in Biden's term, 4 years ago, he had already passed the $2.4 trillion American Rescue Plan on a 50-50 Senate split. It was a 50-50 Senate split, and our old elderly president, Biden, was able to get both sides to come together to pass it because simply he's good. He knows what he's doing. It's a function of his experience in Washington and him being the negotiator Trump wishes he could be. Now, Trump, on the other hand, hasn't gotten anything passed. He signed a flurry of executive orders, all basically meaningless, things that can be overturned like this. And now all they have are cute little bills that they introduce. The article continues, quote, Trump derangement syndrome is a term popular among the president's supporters, MAGA supporters, to deride critics as being irrationally fixated on him. A version of the phrase has been used to pejoratively describe critics of the past presidents as well, including Obama and Bush. Trump's billionaire megadonor, Elon Musk, also recently used the term to criticize progressives who he said had turned on him after he spent $250 million to help elect Trump and then enrich himself. And Elon Musk uses this all the time. That just shows you the caliber of people who use this phrase. They say, oh, your criticisms aren't valid. You just have Trump derangement syndrome. And my criticism is that maybe Trump shouldn't be pro-Russia. Maybe Trump shouldn't bully Canada because they're our ally. Completely valid criticisms, by the way. The bill was, of course, roundly ridiculed by Minnesota Democrats and by Democrats across the country. I mean, it's all a distraction. It literally is all a distraction. This story doesn't actually go back to anything Elon Musk and Trump are doing right now. So when this dude introduces a bill like this, it's a distraction, but I do think it's worth covering the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. The dude who introduced the bill went home that night and was so satisfied with himself that he's like, I deserve to meet up with a 17-year-old. It's just so insane. Quote, even if it's meant as a joke, it is a waste of staff time and taxpayer resources that trivializes serious mental health issues. If the authors are serious, it is an affront to free speech and an expression of a dangerous level of loyalty to an authoritarian president, Senator Murphy said. State Senate Majority Leader Aaron Murphy said, and I will leave it at that. If you enjoy this video, if you appreciate what I do, all that I ask is that you scroll down, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you click that like button, drop some blue hearts in the comment section below, but most importantly of all, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.